First contact. The quantum observatory at Mauna Kea hummed with activity as Dr. Sarah Chen stared at her display in disbelief. The signal pattern she detected defied every known law of physics, a perfect sequence of prime numbers encoded in quantum fluctuations. "Run it again," she ordered her team, her fingers drumming against the cold metal desk. This was the fourth verification, but with a discovery this monumental, they couldn't be too careful. For 3 days, they'd been detecting these patterns, each more complex than the last. James Rodriguez, her lead engineer, looked up from his station. "Same result, Dr. Chen. The quantum signature is stable and definitely artificial. Whatever's generating this signal, it's not natural." Sarah ran her hands through her short black hair, her mind racing through the implications. In 15 years of searching for extraterrestrial intelligence, this was the first genuine signal they'd ever detected. But it wasn't coming from distant stars. It was originating from somewhere much closer. "Plot the signal source again," she said, moving to the main holographic display. The three-dimensional map of the solar system materialized before them, a pulsing red dot indicating the signal's origin. It was coming from the Kuiper Belt, just beyond Neptune's orbit. "Dr. Chen," a young researcher called out, "the signal, it's changing." The quantum patterns shifted, forming complex mathematical equations that seemed to describe higher dimensional space. But what caught Sarah's attention wasn't the equations themselves. It was how they were being presented. They were arranged in a way that suggested whoever created them understood human mathematical notation. "They're not just broadcasting," Sarah whispered. "They're teaching." Within hours, the discovery rocketed through scientific channels. The United Earth Space Command dispatched their newest vessel, the UES Hawking, to investigate. Sarah found herself aboard, staring out at the stars as they accelerated toward the signal source. Commander David Hayes stood beside her on the bridge, his weathered face illuminated by holographic displays. "Walk me through it again, Doctor. What exactly are we looking for?" Sarah gestured to the quantum data streaming across her tablet. "The signal contains blueprints, instructions for building something. But it's not just advanced technology. It's impossible technology. These equations suggest manipulation of quantum states we didn't even know existed." "Impossible is a strong word," Hayes remarked, a slight smile creasing his face. "Commander, they're describing ways to fold space itself, to create stable quantum tunnels between points in spacetime. This isn't just advanced. It breaks our understanding of physics." The journey to the signal source took 3 weeks. As they approached, the ship's sensors detected a structure floating in the void, a perfect sphere about 5 kilometers in diameter, its surface covered in patterns that seemed to shift and change when viewed directly. "Full stop," Hayes ordered. "All stations, report." "No energy signatures," Lieutenant Park announced from Tactical. "No radiation, no heat signature. It's just sitting there." Sarah's instruments told a different story. "Commander, the quantum readings are off the scale. That sphere, it's generating quantum fields I've never seen before. It's like it's partially existing in multiple dimensions at once." As if responding to their presence, the sphere's surface rippled. A beam of light shot out, scanning the Hawking from bow to stern. Before anyone could react, a voice filled the bridge, not through speakers, but seemingly directly in their minds. "Preliminary evaluation complete. Human civilization. Level 2 quantum understanding. Processing capability. Acceptable. Ethics profile. Promising. Beginning primary contact protocol." A section of the sphere's surface dissolved, revealing an entrance sized perfectly for their shuttle. Hayes looked at Sarah, his expression grave. "Dr. Chen, I hope you're ready to make history." The shuttle bay team prepared for the expedition with meticulous care. Sarah checked her environment suit for the 3rd time, her heart pounding with excitement and fear. She was about to step into what could be the greatest scientific discovery in human history. Hayes assembled a small team. Himself, Sarah, 2 Marines, and their chief engineer. As their shuttle approached the entrance, Sarah's instruments recorded impossible readings. Space itself seemed to bend around the sphere, creating paths that shouldn't exist. Inside, they found corridors that defied Euclidean geometry. Rooms that were bigger on the inside than their external dimensions suggested. And everywhere, there were interfaces that seemed designed specifically for human use. This wasn't built by accident, Sarah said, examining a control panel. They knew we'd come. They've been waiting for us. The central chamber was a vast space filled with crystalline structures that pulsed with inner light. In the center floated a cube of what appeared to be pure energy, its surface rippling with mathematical equations. "Welcome, children of Earth," the voice returned. "You have found us because you were ready to find us. We are the legacy, an archive of the precursor civilization. We have waited 50,000 years for a species worthy of our inheritance." Before they could respond, alarms blared throughout the Hawking. Lieutenant Park's voice crackled over the comm. "Commander, multiple ships just appeared at the edge of the system. They're not human, and they're headed straight for us." The Legacy's voice took on a tone of urgency. "The harvesters have arrived sooner than predicted. Your species trial begins now. Children of Earth, will you run from this challenge, or will you face it?" Hayes straightened, his jaw set with determination. "Humanity doesn't run, not when the stakes matter." He looked at Sarah. "Dr. Chen, how quickly can you understand this technology?" Sarah was already moving to the nearest interface, her fingers flying over controls that somehow felt familiar. "Fast, Commander. I have to learn fast." As the unknown ships approached, humanity faced its first true test among the stars. The Legacy had chosen them. Now they had to prove worthy of that choice. The Guardian's test. The approaching ships resembled massive arrowheads, their hulls gleaming with a metallic sheen that absorbed light rather than reflected it. The Hawking's sensors counted 12 vessels, each larger than anything humanity had ever built. "Analysis," Hayes barked, back on the Hawking's bridge. Lieutenant Park's fingers danced across her tactical display. "They're using some kind of quantum drive system, sir. Their weapons." She paused, double-checking her readings. "Sir, their weapon signatures suggest they're using localized space-time distortions as weapons." Sarah worked frantically at her station, correlating data from the Legacy's archives with their sensor readings. "Commander, the Legacy's databases identify them as the Harvesters. They're scavengers. They follow the Legacy's beacons, trying to steal precursor technology before the chosen species can claim it. How do we fight something like that?" Hayes wondered aloud. The answer came from the Legacy itself, its voice resonating through the ship's systems. "You don't fight them, children of Earth. You outsmart them." Trial by fire. The first attack came without warning. The Harvester ships fired weapons that bent space itself, creating distortions that should have torn the Hawking apart. But Sarah was faster. Her fingers flew across the Legacy's interface, activating defensive systems she barely understood but somehow knew how to use. A quantum field enveloped both the Hawking and the Legacy sphere. The Harvester's weapons passed through them harmlessly, their space-time distortions dissipating against defenses that operated on principles beyond current human physics. "How did you do that?" Hayes asked, watching the tactical display in amazement. Sarah's eyes never left her console. "The Legacy isn't just teaching us, Commander. It's interfacing directly with our minds, showing us how to use its systems. It's like remembering something you never knew you learned." The Harvester ships regrouped, forming a complex geometric pattern. Their leader's voice boomed across all frequencies. "You cannot hope to master precursor technology so quickly, humans. Surrender the Legacy, and we will spare your lives." Hayes smiled grimly. "Dr. Chen, what else can this technology do?" Sarah's mind raced through the quantum equations flowing through her consciousness. The Legacy's defensive systems are just the beginning. These interfaces, they're showing me how to access higher dimensions, how to manipulate quantum states on a massive scale. Can we use it to fight back? Better. Sarah's eyes lit up with understanding. We can use it to prove why the legacy chose us in the first place. The next hour was a symphony of innovation. While the harvesters launched increasingly desperate attacks, Sarah and her team worked to understand and adapt the legacy's technology. They weren't just learning to use it. They were learning to improve it. Lieutenant Park discovered how to integrate their conventional shields with the quantum defense field, creating a hybrid system more efficient than either alone. The engineering team, led by Chief Torres, found ways to route power through the ship's existing systems in ways that shouldn't have been possible. "Look at this," Sarah called Hayes over to her station. "The Legacy's quantum computers don't just process information. They process probability itself. We can calculate every possible outcome of an action before we take it." The harvesters launched another barrage, this time using weapons that tried to phase their ships out of normal spacetime. But humanity had already adapted. The hybrid shields held, and more importantly, they learned from each attack. "They don't understand," Sarah realized, watching the enemy ships regroup again. "The Legacy didn't choose us because we were advanced. It chose us because we adapt. We innovate. We take existing systems and make them better." Hayes nodded, understanding dawning in his eyes. "We're not just using the technology. We're evolving it." The Legacy's voice returned, carrying a note of satisfaction. "Now you begin to understand the true test, children of Earth. The harvesters seek only to possess our technology. You seek to understand it, to improve it, to make it your own." Sarah's console lit up with new information. Schematics for systems that merged human ingenuity with precursor technology. "Commander, I have an idea, but it's going to require trusting something we don't fully understand." "The story of human progress," Hayes replied with a slight smile. "What do you need?" The next few hours were a blur of activity. While the harvesters maintained their siege, the crew of the Hawking worked to implement Sarah's plan. They weren't just fighting back. They were rewriting the rules of the engagement. Chief Torres' voice came over the comm. "Dr. Chen, the quantum core integration is complete. It's doing things our power systems shouldn't be capable of." "That's the point," Sarah replied, her fingers dancing across her interface. "We're not trying to match their technology. We're creating something new. A hybrid of human engineering and precursor science." The Hawking's systems transformed. Conventional engines merged with quantum field generators, standard targeting computers linked with probability engines. It wasn't just an upgrade, it was an evolution. "All stations, report ready," Hayes commanded, his voice steady despite the tension. "Weapons ready. Engineering ready. Quantum systems ready." Sarah took a deep breath. "Commander, we're about to rewrite the laws of physics. Are you sure about this?" Hayes looked at the harvester fleet, then at the Legacy sphere, and finally at his crew. Humans standing at the edge of a technological revolution. "Dr. Chen, humanity has never been sure about any of its great leaps forward. That's what makes them great." The Hawking's hybrid systems powered up, creating effects that their sensors couldn't even properly measure. They were about to demonstrate why humanity had been chosen, not because they were the most advanced, but because they were the most innovative. "All stations," Hayes ordered, "execute." The quantum awakening. The Hawking's hybrid systems came online with a pulse of energy that rippled through spacetime itself. Sarah watched as human innovation merged with precursor technology in ways even the Legacy hadn't predicted. The quantum core didn't just power their systems, it enhanced them, evolved them, transformed them into something entirely new. "Energy readings off the scale," Lieutenant Park reported, her voice filled with awe. "The quantum field it's not just defending us anymore. It's reaching out, interacting with space-time in ways our sensors can barely track." The Harvester fleet launched another attack, but this time was different. As their weapons approached, the Hawking's hybrid systems didn't just deflect them. They redirected them, channeling the energy through probability paths that shouldn't have existed. "They still don't understand," Sarah said, watching the data flow across her screens. Every attack they launched teaches us more about their technology. We're not just defending, we're learning, adapting, evolving. The Legacy's voice resonated through the ship. You have exceeded primary trial parameters, children of Earth. Your solution is unexpected, novel. You have taken our technology and transformed it into something we had not conceived. Chief Torres' voice crackled over the comm. Dr. Chen, the quantum core integration is showing something strange. The hybrid systems aren't just working. They're improving themselves. It's like they're learning from each other. Sarah's eyes widened as she studied the readings. The merger of human and precursor technology had created something greater than the sum of its parts. Their conventional systems provided a framework, a foundation that the quantum technology could build upon. But it was human creativity, human intuition, that guided the evolution. Commander, she called to Hayes, I think I understand now. The Legacy wasn't looking for someone to preserve their technology. They were looking for someone to take it further. Hayes nodded, watching as another harvester attack dissipated harmlessly against their defenses. They wanted innovators, not caretakers. The harvester commander's voice boomed across space once more, but this time there was a note of uncertainty in it. What have you done? This is not possible. You cannot master such technology so quickly. That's where you're wrong, Hayes replied, his voice calm but firm. We haven't mastered it. We've partnered with it, evolved with it. That's the difference between your approach and ours. Sarah's console lit up with new data as the Legacy's systems responded to their innovation. Commander, the quantum core is showing us something. The harvesters, they're not just scavengers. They're running from something. Something they think they need precursor technology to fight. The Legacy confirmed her discovery. The harvesters' civilization detected signals from deep space, signs of something vast approaching from between the galaxies. They believe only precursor technology can save them. But they seek to use what they do not understand, to possess what they cannot comprehend. As if in response to this revelation, the harvester fleet began a new maneuver. Their ships linked energy fields, forming a massive weapons platform. Power readings spiked off the charts as they prepared to unleash everything they had. They're desperate, Hayes observed. They think if they can't have this technology, no one should. But Sarah was already moving ahead of them. Her fingers flew across the interface as she connected deeper with the hybrid systems. Commander, we can end this without destroying them. The quantum core, it's showing me a way to demonstrate why force isn't the answer. The Hawking's hybrid systems pulsed with new energy. The quantum field expanded, but not as a weapon. Instead, it created a space where probability itself became fluid. In that space, the harvesters could see every possible outcome of their actions, including paths they hadn't considered. You sought power, Sarah transmitted to the harvester fleet. But power without understanding is meaningless. The Legacy chose us not because we were powerful, but because we understand something you don't. True advancement comes from innovation, from cooperation, from building upon what came before to create something new. The quantum field showed them visions, alternate futures where cooperation led to discoveries neither civilization could have made alone. Solutions to the threat they feared that didn't require weapons or dominance. The harvester fleet's weapon platform powered down. Their commander's voice returned, but this time without hostility. We have been wrong. For centuries, we sought to claim this power, never understanding that the power itself was not the point. The Legacy's presence filled the space between the ships. Now you begin to understand. The true test was never about who could claim our legacy. It was about who could transcend it. Legacy of the stars. In the days that followed, the Legacy sphere became a hub of unprecedented cooperation. The Hawking's crew worked alongside harvester scientists, each bringing their own perspective to understanding the precursor technology. But more than that, they were creating something entirely new. Sarah stood in the Legacy's central chamber, watching as human and harvester technology interfaced with the quantum systems in ways that surprised even the ancient eye. "It's remarkable," she said to Hayes, who stood beside her. "Their fear of the unknown drove them to seek power. Our curiosity drove us to seek understanding. And together," Hayes added, "we're finding answers neither of us could have discovered alone." The legacy's voice resonated through the chamber. "This is the true purpose of our gift. Not to elevate one species above others, but to forge connections that transcend the boundaries of civilization itself." The quantum displays showed their combined progress. The hybrid systems first developed under pressure had evolved into something far more sophisticated. Human intuition, harvester precision, and precursor technology worked in harmony, creating innovations that defied conventional physics. "We've confirmed the deep space signals," the Harvester chief scientist, Val Wren, reported. His species' initial hostility had been replaced by collaborative enthusiasm. "Something is indeed approaching from intergalactic space, but now we can study it, understand it, prepare for it properly." Sarah nodded, reviewing the quantum probability projections. "The combined sensor network we've developed can detect quantum fluctuations across light years. We'll have decades to prepare, to understand whatever's coming." The legacy's presence filled the chamber with a sense of satisfaction. "You have exceeded all trial parameters, children of Earth. But more importantly, you have demonstrated why you were chosen. Your species' greatest strength is not your technology, nor your adaptability alone. It is your ability to turn adversaries into allies, to find paths to cooperation where others see only conflict." Hayes looked at the assembled team of humans and harvesters working together. "We've always known that our greatest achievements come when we work together. Now we're just expanding the definition of we." The quantum core pulsed with new energy, and the legacy revealed its final gift. The chamber filled with holographic displays showing technology far beyond anything they'd seen before. But these weren't just precursor designs. They were templates, foundations meant to be built upon and improved. "The true inheritance we offer is not our technology," the legacy explained, "but the wisdom to use it properly. You have shown that you understand this. Now we offer you not just our legacy, but the opportunity to forge your own." Sarah studied the quantum equations with wonder. "These aren't just technological blueprints. They're guidelines for the evolution of civilization itself, ways to grow, to advance, without losing what makes us who we are." More than that, Val Wren added, his earlier arrogance replaced by genuine respect. "They're showing us how different species can advance together, each contributing their own strengths to a greater whole." The legacy's final message resonated through them all. "You stand at a threshold, children of Earth. Before you lies not just the inheritance of one civilization, but the potential to forge a legacy of your own. A legacy not of domination or mere technological supremacy, but of innovation, cooperation, and wisdom." Hayes looked out at the stars visible through the legacy sphere's quantum windows. Those same stars that had seemed so distant now represented not barriers, but bridges. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, not as conquerors or mere inheritors, but as innovators and peacemakers. "So," he said, turning to the assembled group of humans and former adversaries, "now allies, shall we begin?" Sarah smiled, her hands already moving across the quantum interface as new ideas formed in her mind. The harvesters added their own insights, and together they started mapping out the future, not just of their own species, but of all those who might join them among the stars. The legacy watched as its chosen inheritors took their first steps toward a future even its creators hadn't imagined. In seeking to preserve their knowledge, the precursors had achieved something far greater. They had sparked the beginning of something entirely new. And in the vast expanse of space, as human and harvester ships began working together to establish the foundations of their shared future, the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter, witnessing the birth of a new era in the cosmic story. The end.